Sherrie Swensen, to put it mildly, has been a very, very busy individual these last several months and the last days leading up to all of this. Thank you for joining us live. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. And in your years of being the county clerk, you know a thing or two because you've seen a thing or two, but this year, just off the charts, I'm guessing.
It is, in terms of the people who've registered to vote, the questions, the enthusiasm, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
In the middle of a worldwide pandemic, where you have to have safe social distancing, hand sanitizing, just throwing a curveball into everything.
It's really made it interesting, trying to prepare for everything and figure out how.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and making sure that we can try to keep people safe. We've got signs on the floor that socially distance them. We're giving them their own little stylus to sign the poll pads so they don't have to share a surface with someone. A glove to put on their hands so that they can use the voter access card on a gloved hand. We're doing everything we can to keep people safe.
And really, when you separate the wheat from the chaff, get down to brass tacks, pick your analogy, these folks who are showing up here, who have showed up to come and be poll workers, it has to do your heart good. You mentioned right up until last night you were having volunteers.
Yes, in fact, we had so many people volunteer, and even though we've got over 600 poll workers, we had so many we had to create a waiting list. That's how much enthusiasm there was about all these people just wanting to help.
And they knew going into it, what this was going to entail. A very contentious election, all the issues going around, dealing with a pandemic. And they still showed up in droves, or at least tried to show up in droves, until you finally had to cut them off.
We finally had to create the waiting list, and it was amazing. I was concerned that we would be able to find people to serve. Many of the people who'd worked in past elections came back in spite of the pandemic, and so many more people who just put their names out there and said they want to help.
People who get in and work for the public, civil servants, they get into it for a reason. They want to make a difference. This has to do your heart good to know that so many folks want to be involved.
It does, and it does my heart good to see so many people anxious to vote. It's always been one of my passions to try and get people registered, try to get them to participate, and this time tops it all, and we're seeing it.
Sherrie Swensen, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've got a full day ahead of you. We'll be checking in throughout the day, and there you have it. Folks showing up here, the polls opening within the last half an hour or so. And it's just a situation where a lot of folks very much engaged and wanting to take part in the democratic process today. For now, we're live at the Sully County Complex. Scott McCain, Fox 13 News, Utah.